This is Christina Watkins, and I'm coming to you from beautiful Park City. Happy May. Summertime is crazy. More ski properties, so homes and condos surrounding the ski resorts, sell outside of the ski season than during the ski season. And depending on how you run the statistics, it can be by as much as 35% more sales happen outside of the ski season. Single-family homes from Old Town to the Canyons, the median sales price is $1,850,000, and from the Canyons and beyond, median sales price is $982,000. And if you're in certain neighborhoods, certain price points, if a property is well priced, it's selling with multiple offers. So we're having to have love letters, we're having to have pre-approval letters, which means that you go to your lender and turn in all of your documentation. Your lender has actually seen your tax return and is comfortable writing me a letter that I can provide with the offer to the list agent saying yes, they can perform. It's also a great time to think about selling, obviously. June is a spectacular time to bring a property on the market because everything is greened up, the wildflowers are in bloom, most of the snow is melted, and if we were to start talking about that procedure or that process right now, that gives us enough time to get the yard tidied up, for me to come over with the stager at my expense, to get your marketing plan put together, all of that. Because frankly, depending on what neighborhood you're in, we may not have time to dilly-dally once we launch the property live on the MLS because we might be having to deal with offers. So it gives us enough time to get all of our ducks in a row and to really present your offer in its very best light. So Salt Lake City is even crazier. Right now there is a 3-week supply of houses. And what that means, basically, we look at the absorption rate. So if no new homes came on the market, based on the rate at which homes are selling, it would take 3 weeks to sell out of everything that's for sale right now. 3 weeks! I mean, we prefer to have a 6-month inventory. So, you know, it's Silicon Slopes. The appeal is undeniable. Needless to say, if you do have an interest in looking at Salt Lake real estate, please don't hesitate to give me a call. I'd be happy to help you there as well. Now, the barn behind me is the big white barn that you see on the way into Park City. It is about the most iconic thing. It's one of those properties that has basically appeared on every postcard, the most photographed, the most Instagrammed. Everybody comes and gets their family pictures taken here. It's the white barn. Historically, it's the McPolin barn. You might know it as the Osgothorpe barn. The McPolins, Dan and Isabel, were very successful entrepreneurs in early, the Wild West of Park City. They owned Park City Hotel, Park City Bottling Works, they owned a lumber yard, they owned a coal yard, they owned a boarding house, they owned a meat market. And right about the turn of the century, 1897 to 1901, they purchased in 2 pieces all of this land from an old homestead for about $1,350. And were raising cattle and hogs here. And by the 1920s, the dairy industry was really starting to take off. So they got in the dairy business and started to build this huge, iconic white barn. At that time, it was one of the largest barns in Summit County, and unfortunately, it was finished in 1922, just as Dan McPolin died. It was built with salvaged timbers from some of the local mines, as well as lumber from their own lumber yard. 1947, the family sold the farm, as it were, to a Salt Lake City veterinarian, Dr. D.A. Osgothorpe, who expanded operations. Unfortunately, in 1955, there was a tremendous fire that severely damaged the structures on this side of the road, so Dr. Osgothorpe moved his operations across the street, and this barn sat empty largely from 1955 until the late 80s. In the late 80s, oh, well, I should mention that when the McPolin sold it to Dr. Osgothorpe, they sold it for $35,000 in 1947. In the late 80s, forward-thinking citizens and public servants realized that this was a prime parcel for development, and it was just a matter of time before it got sold and was built out. And since it's such an important piece of land to Park City's entry corridor, plus the historic component, the city was able to purchase the land in 1990, completed the purchase for $4.4 million, and placed upon it a easement to make certain that the land is preserved in its current state in perpetuity. So there's no development whatsoever. Last spring, so the spring of 2016, Park City started a $1 million restoration of the property, where they just came in and stabilized the barn, you know, made sure that it was still safe to be in and that sort of thing. And I know that they were looking at historic photos from the museum, and there was really a very serious consideration that this barn be preserved in as close to original state without compromising safety as possible. So the stabilization effort is complete. It was $1 million. And in June the 24th, which is actually the same day as the historic home tour, there will be a ribbon cutting and a big party. There will be, I think Motherlode is playing, which is of course the local band. There's going to be, you know, food and drinks, and it's going to be a really fun time. So that'll be something to mark your calendars, June 24th. And the historic home tour, while I've got your attention, is going to be Woodside and Norfolk this year, and I will be sponsoring another house, and you'll see my photos and tweets as we move along. But that's a heck of a weekend to be in Park City. If you're in Salt Lake and historic homes aren't your thing, it's the Urban Garden and Farm Tour is that Saturday morning. So that's kind of a fun thing to do. Same idea, you buy a ticket, you get a map, and you sort of trick or treat the different properties and see, you know, what people are doing in downtown Salt Lake City with their yards. So, needless to say, it's a very exciting time to be here. I hope to hear from you. Drop me a line or an email if you're looking to buy something. Let's get you pre-approved. If you're looking to sell something, it's an excellent time to start getting that process going. And then as the yards green up and as we, you know, start to see the best photo opportunity possible, we'll get your property on the market and get it sold for you. So take care. I hope you're doing well, and I hope to hear from you soon. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.